Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Caroga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. False word. Important things are giving you peace.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's gonna be under one roof. You're gonna run it like a business. That means you're gonna make a profit.
Look at these 3 word written launches on the rest of the or sings tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Caroga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, April 16th, 2021. Happy birthday to Gina Carano, a shining star among the poop that is Disney Star Wars. A beacon of light to fans everywhere. And thank you, John Araki, for the $1 donation of Invisible Romulan Ale or Andorian Ale, whatever blue drink that was supposed to be. Greatly appreciated. So yes. And thank you, Commodore Ty, for alerting me into the chat that today was indeed Gina Carano's birthday. A cursory look at famous things that happened today. I did not notice that she was born today. I might not have made it to the 1980s. I was looking for stuff further back, but on this day in 1982, Gina Carano was born, and we're all the better for it. Her fight in the culture war cannot be underappreciated. What she's done already for us, for fans, for fighting this PC machine that's taken control at Disney and so many other giant corporations. This is a war just as important as the Cold War, the war on terrorism, the war on drugs, the war on Kurdistan. These are all top tier wars. They don't get as much love as World War II and World War I, but they're up there. They make differences to our lives. So just wanted to start off the stream with a happy birthday to Gina. Not that Gina will ever see this stream, but doesn't matter. I know we all wish her a happy birthday anyway. So let's get that again. Thank you, Commodore Ty, because I would not have known. I would not have known without reading your comment. That said, not Ryan Johnson was first in the chat today. Qapla, Not Ryan Johnson says hello and Qapla. Hail Caroga. Hail Caroga. And then Commodore Ty was the one who said hello all and also happy birthday to Gina Carano. Greatly appreciated again, Commodore. By the way, Commodore Ty puts out tons of videos, reviews. Check out his channel. We need to get him to 200 subscribers very soon. Very soon. He's very close if he hasn't hit it already. And thank you, Aravic Sander, with a $2 super chat. Says Qapla, bird of prey. Here's to the weekend. Qapla. Thank you, TBIF. TBIF indeed. Thank Bird. It's Friday. Thank you, Aravic Sander. And thank you, John Iraqi, for another $1 super chat. Eyebrow Dax. This upcoming Wednesday, Trials and Tribulations in HD, the best Star Trek episode of all time, in my opinion. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 6 for Deep Space Nine Wednesday. I intend to play it in 960p HD glory, and I hope everyone can attend, as it's my way of honoring this most perfect of Star Trek episodes. Caroga Night says Viva Caroga, Viva Caroga, Caroga Night. 47 Yorktown puts in hashtag Dear Bop using emojis. Thank you, 47 Yorktown. Yes, Dear Bop is working. I tested it. We're all set. John Iraqi says Qapla and hashtag free Gina and hashtag free Apu. Oh my God. Oh my God, John Iraqi. I got sick to my stomach this week when I heard about it on Latino Slant's channel. And yes, I was at Latino Slant's second episode, a so-called In Espanol episode. I wasn't going to go originally, but Captain Trek and others told me about it, and after looking at the fact it was not, in fact, all in Spanish, that most of it was indeed in English, I did go, because I assumed that, when it said in Espanol, that it was going to be taking place completely in Spanish, which is perfectly fine, and I applaud people who, channels that want to do that, but as somebody who doesn't speak a word of Spanish, except perhaps in Espanol, there was no point for me going, was my initial thought. But when I found out that no, it just was little parts that were in Spanish, then I was like, oh, okay, I could go. So at Latino Slant's recent stream, I had heard about this Hank Azaria. Was it Hank? It's Hank, right? He's the guy. Yes, Hank Azaria, the voice of Apu. And this ridiculous apology tour he went on, begging for apologies. He said he wanted to visit each and every Indian American in the United States and offer a formal apology for him voicing Apu on The Simpsons. And it made me sick to my stomach. The Simpsons have already been dead to me for like 3 or 4 years. And this just was like a backhoe pushing a whole load of dirt on top of the, it's not even in a, it's not even in, what are those things? God damn it. A box you go in a funeral. Coffin. It's not even in a coffin. The Simpsons are not even in a coffin. They are just a rotting corpse in a deep hole. And Hank Azaria's ridiculous apology tour was just like a backhoe pushing not even dirt, but like crushed bones of war orphans on top of the rotting corpse of the Simpsons, and then setting it ablaze in my heart. It made me sick to my stomach that this man who I I admired for so long, say 25 of the 30 years he was involved with The Simpsons. He was a shining light in comedy. He did great things. The man needs to apologize to no one. The man should be demanding an apology from everyone who dares say he needed to step down, to cancel himself from that schmuck comedian who is not a comedian, because I'm sorry, but if you don't actually say anything funny, you're not a comedian. You're just a hack. His only claim to fame was to write an essay or a Medium blog post or whatever the fuck he did, make a documentary about how sad he was because kids on the playground called him Apu when he was a kid because he was Indian and the Simpsons were so famous, so they called him Apu. Well, guess what? I forget the fuck your name is, and I'm never going to remember it because I'm not going to give you that honor of taking up space in my brain. They're going to call you something, whether it was Apu or something else. Okay? You are lucky it was Apu. Apu was a great guy. Okay? Apu wasn't an asshole. Apu was a hardworking immigrant to the United States with a family, with a wife, with 8 kids, and a full-time business, and showed off one of the hardest working people in the series. Okay? Apu was certainly one of the most respected characters in the series as an Indian American in a time when it was virtually all white people on TV when The Simpsons started. The Simpsons had a very diverse cast for a primetime cartoon, and Apu was a great addition to it. And nobody gave a shit who was not voicing the actor. Okay? Had an actual Indian voiced Apu, you still would have been made fun of because they were going to make fun of you, because that's what kids do. We make fun of each other. Okay? We didn't know the guy voicing Apu was white. Nobody really cared. The kids that making fun of you, they didn't know what the actor was who voiced Apu. They didn't say, oh, it's a white man who voices Apu, so let's call this Indian kid Apu. No. They called you Apu because you looked a little bit like Apu to them. Okay? And if there was some other famous Indian American, I can't think of one, but if there was some other famous Indian American, they would have called you that name too. But frankly, Apu was the only one at the time. So that's what you got called. If there was, if it had happened a little later, you probably would have got called worse names. Because, kids and, frankly, idiots don't really give a shit, and they don't look more beyond like this color of somebody's skin. In Super Troopers, there's the line about the guy there who's Indian, and the other cop keeps thinking he's Mexican and keeps making Mexican jokes. And like the other people don't understand why is he making Mexican jokes? He's like, he just thinks, all brown people are Mexican. That's basically what would have happened. If there wasn't a prominent Indian American figure they could have used, they would have called you something else, because kids make fun of each other. It happens. Fat kids, ugly kids, short kids, tall kids, smelly kids, poor kids, rich kids, regardless of the kids, even perfectly attractive kids, whatever it is, we find some way to make fun of kids, because that is what kids do to each other. And frankly, adults kind of do it too. It's not Hank's fault that you were made fun of. It's not your fault you were made fun of. It's not anybody's fault you were made fun of. You grew up in America. You're fucking welcome. You're welcome that the worst thing that happened to you was that somebody called you Apu during the school lunch or on the playground. Okay? You know what would have been worse? If you died of polio. So you're welcome that you had such a privileged fucking life here in the United States. We didn't have to worry about dying of polio. The worst thing you had to do was be worried about somebody calling you Apu. And you had to fucking destroy a cartoon show that ran for the majority of my life because of it. And you know what? I don't even blame you so much. I blame the powers that be at Fox and later became Disney. And most of this happened after it was clear Disney was taking over and the Fox attitude had to go. And they started, even before Disney officially took over, they adopted Disney's PC culture policies. And it was all downhill from there. I blame them more, right? I blame them more rather than you, the filmmaker, failed comedian, documentarian. But blame to go around. Blame to go around. And it made me so sick. So sick. It ruined a day. Ruined it 2 days. After reading this article. I have the article up, but I'm not even going to read it because it's just going to piss me off too much. It is so fucking ridiculous. And now Hank Azaria, he makes me sick because he is the exact opposite. First off, I have no doubt that Hank must have enough money voicing The Simpsons for 30 fucking years. Okay, he if he doesn't have enough money to retire on, he must have wasted it all on booze and drugs. So no pity for this man. This man could have retired anytime he wanted. And if it got to the point that they're like, hey, we're not going to let you voice Apu anymore, then he should have just said, fuck you, I'm done, goodbye, have a nice life. But the fact that he didn't, the fact that he decided to instead go apologize and say he wishes he could apologize to every single Indian American because of what? Because he heard a 17-year-old. He said a 17-year-old kid who had never seen The Simpsons cried to him because he was being called Apu, and he realizes Apu is basically he says it's almost like a racial slur. Apu is almost like a racial slur. No, it's not a racial slur. Apu is just a nickname because Apu was so famous, because the character you voiced was so famous. Okay, if the character from what was that movie? Slumdog Millionaire, and I never saw the movie, but if that character had become as famous as Apu, people would be calling Indian people that name, right? You know, like people call Italian people, we're all mafia, mobsters, Fat Tony on The Simpsons, The Simpsons, which puts racial racial stereotypes to every character they have. It happens to everybody. If there's a famous character that's of a specific race or religion or national or the ethnicity, that becomes the defining characteristic, and lots of people get called those names. It is nothing wrong. And BBB, aka Sissofrey, donated $2 and said, shut up about this already. It's ridiculous. Hank Azaria sickens me, ruined The Simpsons for me, and I can tell you that he wanted to go and apologize, he said, to every single Indian American. Well, I know several Indian Americans who don't want an apology from you, Hank. Okay? They don't think you did anything wrong. And I don't either. You deserve a thank you. if anything. Very few people would have portrayed a character with as much dignity and grace as you did for the first 20 plus years. You did the show. And BBB with a $5 super chat says, Jesus Christ, change the subject. Okay. When was the last time you guys saw my nephew, Charlie? He's the cutest baby, right? So today we got a call that Charlie was crawling around his house, and Ciso Prey said to Charlie, have you seen Mr. Bunny today? Now, Mr. Bunny is a wild rabbit that lives in Ciso Prey's backyard. You said it. Oh, Mamo Prey said it. Mamo Prey said it. Have you seen Mr. Bunny today? And then Charlie crawled over to the back door to look out the back door window. And sure enough, Mr. Bunny was outside, just as Mamo Prey said, have you seen Mr. Bunny? And Charlie heard her and went to the back door to look for the bunny. And sure enough, the bunny was there. So that was a very cute story I heard this morning. Dan23 says, hi, welcome, Dan. John Araki says, dear Twitch, Berto Prey's channel spreads misinformation about aliens. Please cancel. Thanks, the anti-tracker. Twitch is looking for you to turn in fellow content creators for stuff that you dislike. Oh, speaking of Twitch, well, this was a YouTube. YouTube today came out, the YouTube creator channel came out with a video talking about how the algorithm works. And they had a YouTube employee who's worked on the algorithm for several years. She actually said that it's not fair to call it one algorithm. There's multiple algorithms, but whatever. They just call it the algorithm for short. Anyway, she said, yes, back in like 2009 to 2011, the main thing they looked for were views and clicks. And then they realized views and clicks aren't a fair metric because that people with clickbait titles and sensationalized thumbnails benefit disproportionately. So then they said, well, let's go to watch time, because if you're watching a video for a long time, you must like it. So then they said around 2011, they prioritized watch time over clicks and views. And that was that for a few years. And then a few years back, they started saying, well, watch time isn't really a fair metric either, because some people watch hours of video and then they're angered by the video they watched. So then they started coming out with this short survey that, like, I don't know how many people get it, but like 1 in 100 to 1 in 1,000 people get this survey after you watch a video. And they ask how you feel about the video you just watched. And apparently that, along with number of likes versus dislikes, is now the main metric they use to decide if the content of the video is high quality. So if you ever get that survey that pops up when you're done watching a video that says, what did you think about this video? And you want to help that creator, the best way to do so is to answer that survey positively, that this video made you feel good or made you feel was knowledgeable, positive things. If you fill it out in the negative, then YouTube's going to say, oh, this, even though you might have watched it for 2 hours, they're going to downrank that video because they're worried about feelings instead of watch time, which is ridiculous, because who are they to decide, Why? But the most important thing, the most important metric isn't that the person feels good after watching your video or that the person watched your video for a long time. The most important thing is that the person goes on and continues watching YouTube videos after they're done with your video. So they told us that at the end of our videos, if we really want to help our place in the algorithm, we should encourage people to watch another video. That's the company. That's the company's prime objective, is to get you guys to watch additional videos. So they don't care so much that if you watch a video and you're like, oh great, this is good, I feel happy, I'm going to go out and start my day, I'm going to go out and exercise, I'm going to go out and work on my car, I'm going to go out and go to work, and I'm happy, and yay, this is a great day. No, not good. That's not good for YouTube. Okay, what's good for YouTube is to say, yay, I'm happy, I'm going to continue watching another video. Preferably an authoritative source video, which means your videos from your news stations, your CNNs, your Fox Newses, your BBC, or big companies like CBS and Disney. That's where, you send viewers to those people, and supposedly YouTube will prop you up in the algorithm. Now, that's literally what they told us in the video today that went out to anybody who subscribed to the YouTube creators channel. So, man, it made me feel a little dirty. Positive Candor says, so what do you think about the Black Hole movie, Bird of Prey? Pretty weird, right? Yeah, so right before this stream, well, maybe 15 minutes before, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, Positive Candor today watched a Disney movie, The Black Hole. It's on Disney Plus. It is a pretty weird sci-fi movie. Yes, it is. Positive Candor, weird indeed. From 1979. I'll be honest, some of the scenes looked really good, like surprisingly good. I would have figured it was closer to 1989. And then some of the scenes were like absurdly bad. But yeah, it was a weird one. Star Trek Nitpickers, Qapla, Star Trek Nitpickers, good to see you. Star Trek Nitpickers put out a video today on Akiva Goldsmith. I forget which one, but the guy who's working with Alex Kurtzman, and he's basically in charge of Strange New Worlds. He answered a bunch of questions on the upcoming Strange New Worlds, and frankly, the long answer is you should watch the video. The short thing is Akiva is saying all the good things, all the right answers, but we'll see what actually happens with all good things. Cautiously optimistic, I'd put it. Positive Candor says happy birthday to Gina Carano. And John Araki is saying 4:05. Why not 4:06? Yes, 4:05 was the scheduled start time of today's stream. Why not 4:06? Frankly, because YouTube only allows you to set to the nearest 5-minute interval. And I figured I'd set at 4:05. This way I aim at 4, and if I'm late, so what? I've got 5 minutes extra. Because I know how upset you guys get when I'm late. And if I'm early, no big deal, because 2.5 minutes goes to the countdown timer anyway. And certainly I barely get through any comments another 2 minutes in. So no harm. Bradley Briggs says, Zup, y'all. Zup, Bradley. Good to see you. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. BBB says, hi, Uncle Joey. Hi, Charlie. I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. I would have done things in a different order if I'd known Charlie was watching. The Catman, D.D. Myers, says greetings to BBB and to Mike Richards and good afternoon. Mike Richards says, hail, all hail, Sis O'Prey. Moxley fan says, Bird of Prey, Qapla Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well. And Sis O'Prey is waving to everybody. John Araki says, the war on the climate crisis. Moxley says, hi to you all. The war on Dr. Seuss. Those are all big wars. Dee says, Bradley Briggs, greetings. And BBB says, Jesus, listen to him. I may need to hang up before he even knows I'm here. Sorry about that. Mike Richards says, hey to Dee. Dee Myers says, Moxley fan, good greeting, good afternoon. Moxley says hello to Dee Myers. Dee says, Qapla Bird O'Prey, and how are you and the family? Well, I'm doing okay. I hope Sis O'Prey is. Carlo Albanese puts in the nephew O'Prey emoji, the upcoming, at some point in the future, Sis O'Prey emoji, the Bird O'Prey head in a jar, the upcoming Mom O'Prey emoji, and the sassy emoji. Carlo Albanese says hi and hope everyone is as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. I hope you are well too. And Carlos says, praise the soup with Jedi Bill. Enjoy a good brew of Captain Trek. And as always, hail Caroga. Bird O'Prey 5, Qapla, Carlo. Black Delegation says, only 200. If I went by only quality alone, I would guess Ty had several thousand subscribers. Exactly, Black Delegation. Commodore Ty puts out the videos of a channel, I would say 10 times his size, but I feel like I'd still be cutting him short. 100 times his size. The man deserves a hell of a lot more subscribers. Dee Myers says to John Araki, greetings and good evening. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey in America. Do you still have Disney Channel on TV or is it completely on Disney Plus? We still have Disney Channel on cable. Dee says, good afternoon to Dan. BB says, all is well here. Lots of biting and rowdy yelling here. Thanks for asking. How is the gang? Cool. Good to hear. Josh Reed says, the people, orphans of Caroga, have got a letter out of the Carogan mines demanding the evil Bird of Prey be removed as they want to leave New Jersey and go home to New York City. Well, if they're in New Jersey, then they're not under my protection. That's Sis O'Prey's domain. Dee Myers says, hail and good afternoon. Black Delegation says, Bird of Prey. If he wants to apologize, who are we to judge him for that? Just playing devil's advocate. Hail Caroga. Who are we to judge him? Well, I am Bird of Prey 5, God Emperor of Caroga. I will feel right at home judging anybody I want. Now, nobody else need listen. I'm not saying that my judgment holds some special place in the, in the sky, that people should look to me for advice. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I judge him, and I judge him poorly for his recent decisions. John DeMarco says, apology tour. Sounds familiar. Carlo Albanese says, John Cleese has been taking the piss out of him for apologizing. Who's John Cleese? John DeMarco says, I feel an epic rant coming on. Dee Myers says, John DeMarco, good afternoon. Hail Caroga. Hail Caroga. Guys, if you want another UPS rant this morning on Captain Trek's channel on Morning Brew, I don't know, about an hour and a half in maybe. They got me started again on UPS, and I didn't think it was going to go on as hard as it did, but I continued right where I left off. Apparently, I still have unresolved issues about UPS. Carlo Albanese says, maybe I should go around and apologize to all the women I slept with for pretending to be the biggest and the best. Carlo, there's a lot of people out there who would say that you should probably be charged with a crime for lying to a woman. that ended up in them sleeping with you. John DeMargo says hello to DD. Bradley Briggs says, as long as no one is being physically hurt, comedy isn't something you need to apologize for. I agree. And John Araki is rant. DD Myers says, Carlo, good afternoon. Moxley fan, ranting time, batten down the hatches. Darius Muchusin, Qapla, Darius. Moxley fan, yeah, down. Mike Richards says, there we go. DD Myers says, Bird of Prey is on a warpath, everyone duck. And DD says, good afternoon to Darius. Darius says, hail to DD Myers and Carlo. Carlo says, hello back. Positive Candor says, well, when will Lisa Cartwright apologize for voicing Bart Simpson? I know, a woman voicing a male. It's discriminatory somehow. BBB says, yep, he's still going. Who got him started? Somebody said hashtag, John Araki said hashtag free Apu. That's all it took. Carlos says hi to Darius. John DeMargo says Patrick Stewart should do an apology for playing Picard. All the nerds who were made fun of. I think he's done enough apologizing. Patrick Stewart. Bradley Briggs says, I wish only thing that happened to me at school was being called names. Yeah. Right. If the only thing that happened to you at school was being called a name, you got off easy. You got through it easy. Let alone a name that has no inherent negativity about it. The only negativity is your own negativity that you yourself are putting on it. Because by any measure, there's nothing negative about Apu. BBB says, at least we agree on vaccinations, mostly. Uncle Remus, Joe Apu Opre 5. You know what? If anybody wanted to call me Apu Opre 5, have at it. It doesn't matter to me. There's no... Apu I'd rather be called Apu than Homer. Homer is an idiot. Apu is 1,000,000 times smarter than Homer. Right? I'd rather be called Apu than Chief Wiggum. Chief Wiggum, another idiot. Maybe Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns is rich, and he's quite smart, but in an evil kind of way. Honestly, we got the judge, who happens to be black. He's one of the smartest characters. Lisa, I don't know about Lisa. She's supposed to be smart, but I'm not so sure. I honestly, if I had to rank the smartest people in Springfield, you got the scientist, you got maybe comic book guy, although I don't think he's smart so much as just nerdish. You got a few of the nerd kids, and you got Apu is up there. Carlos says, Bird of Prey, if you can't act as anyone other than who you are, then who are you going to get to play an alien? We don't want to offend them when they get here, when they get our TV signals in 1,000 years. That's right. BBB says the rant is now at 7 minutes. See, BBB. Yeah, you should have seen some of my other rants. Carlos says this is mild for a rant. Yeah. Bradley Briggs says rant Opre 5. John Araki says very mild. John Araki says hashtag cancel Hillram. Oh my God. Arabic Saunders says bless you. Carlo Albanese says wait, doesn't he voice a fat man? And he's not fat, so I'm offended. I'm going to get him to apologize to every fat guy in the universe. You know what? Why not? Why not? What's the difference? John DeMargo says, no, this is a great rant. Uncle Remus says, what? No. Although, people do call people that. Captain Trek, Qapla, Captain Trek, hello. And John Araki says Frito. No, that is not. Dan23 says, yeah, I saw the new Simpsons today. Homer was younger, but this time, in the time of hip hop music works of Pizza Place, Homer's being young in almost every decade since the 50s now. I've stopped watching, Dan, so I wouldn't know. Uncle Remus is critical race theory. What's your opinion, Bird? No, sir, I don't like it. To quote Mr. Horse. Space Kissing Her says, you are correct, Bird. Thanks, Space Kissing Her. Star Trek Nitpicker says, I'm having a real Scottish guy voice an alien on the USS New York. Should I fire him and get a real alien? Should they write Willie the Groundskeeper off The Simpsons? Oh my God. Poor Willie. Poor Willie. It's like a Scotsman and an Englishman, or a Scotsman and an Irishman, or a Scotsman and a Scotsman. Captain Track says, rant. Carlo Albanese says, who needs the quickie? Who needs the quickie, Mart? I do. That was a great episode. Are you really? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, that was 3 questions. Thank you. Come again. Dan23 says, originally The Simpsons, Bart was born in the early 80s and Homer and Marge in the 70s. Yeah, it just changes. It's a cartoon. Dan says, yes, and another thing I don't like on The Simpsons is the episode where Lisa didn't know any kind of TV before flat screens. Again, that's an episode I haven't seen. I haven't watched in several years now. The Random Menace, greetings from the future, Qapla, future man. Darius is hailing the Random Menace. John Araki is saying the Al Gore rhythm. Mike Richards says hey to Yosef. Aravic Sanders says Jolan true to Captain. And BBB says, I can't wait for Bird to apologize to all the Australians. Oi! Aussie O'Prey is never going to apologize for being Aussie O'Prey. John DeMarco says, oh good, so the metric is now primarily based on feelings. It's been based on feelings for at least 10 years. It's sickening. Carlo Albanese says, the only person that is downvoted gets the questionnaire. Only the person that downvoted gets the questionnaire. I don't think that's true. Maybe. Star Trek Nitpicker says, what do you think about my video? And there's the link to the video. Very cool. Dan23 says, sometimes the end of video, I get an advert and you can set to autoplay. Another video comes up. I turn autoplay off. I can't deal with autoplay. I don't want autoplay. One video at a time. Now, sometimes I'm listening to 2 or 3 videos at the same time. And that's one thing. But if there's more than one video, that's fine. John DeMarco says, I get those surveys every once in a while. I rarely downvote. No problem. Aravic Sanda says, I wonder if Jolan True was used in TNG or before. I don't think it was ever used before TNG. Aravic Sanda says, yeah, I don't think it was used before TNG. Sorry about that, guys. I had a doctor calling, and we have an appointment. Long story short, I got an appointment this Sunday. Sunday. Will Berto Pray 5 eat the out-of-date spam while the doctor is examining him? No, I don't think so. Okay. We're good. That was a very confusing phone call. No, Jolan True had to come up with TNG. Now, Nitpickers says algorithms. Ha ha ha. Carlo Albanese says half-hour rant about Apu, and now we go to Disney. John DeMarco says 45 minutes behind and counting. Dan23 says sometimes at the beginning of a video, I had a survey asking me if I know any of the following. Darius says hail to Arabic Sonder and Star Trek Nitpickers. Arabic Sonder says hail to Darius and Jolan True. Nitpicker says here's the Akuva Goldsman vid. Thanks, Bert. Oh, very cool. Yeah, check out that video especially. Star Trek Nitpickers shouts out to Darius and Arabic Sonder. Arabic says agreeable to see you, Star Trek Nitpickers. Carlo Albanese says hail Caroga. Hail Caroga. John Araki says tortoise and the hair bird and the chat window. Yeah. Tortoise and the hare in the chat window. John Araki says, who are we to judge? A jury of his peers, indeed. John DeMarco says, who's John Cheese? Yeah, who? I did ask that. I got to Google it now. John Cleese is an English actor, comedian, screenwriter, producer. His first achieved success. I'm looking at a picture of this man. I have no idea who he is. Should I? What? He co-founded Monty Python. Oh, I got a secret to share with you guys and girls, or guys and gals, guys and dames, and you're not gonna like it. I'm not a big Monty Python fan. A couple of movies have been funny, but as a general genre, I tend to stay away from Monty Python. Never got it. I mean, granted that bunny that attacks and the knights that go knee, okay, I get that. That's some good stuff. But other Monty Python, not for me. Mike Richards says, yeah, Monty Python's Flying Circus. I guess I should have just kept reading. Dan Noisy says John Cleese was the 70s BBC comedy called 40 Towers. And he said he never watched Monty Python. Yeah, I watched a little bit. John DeMarco says, I know, but I was incredulous at Bird's ignorance. I think that's a reference. Mike Richards says, sorry to John DeMarco. John Araki says, hashtag FedEx sucks. Too soon, John Araki, too soon. I have our issues with FedEx, but they're dealing with some grief right now as a company. I wouldn't want to go on a FedEx rant. John DeMarco says, no worries. Dan23 says, people are always going to say they don't know someone when they do. I honestly had no idea. John Araki says, FedEx is a pharmacy and they don't even know it. Carlo Albanese says, Homer is an idiot by choice. That's right. He chose to have that crayon pushed back up his nose. Without that crayon, he was a genius. Well, he was average. His average IQ made him one of the smartest people in Springfield. He proved there was no God, even though we see God as a character in The Simpsons multiple times. In fact, Homer has met God on more than one occasion. Yet he proved there was no God while working on a flat tax proposal. That's one of the best lines. And Flanders is like, oh, let's just check this. And he's like, nope, you're right. He rips it up. Mike Richards says, Bird Up Who 5. If you want to call me that, that's fine. Dan23 says, I heard on the news today that people was shot. Yes, there was a mass shooting. 8 people, unfortunately, lost their lives. Now, what I heard, and again, this was breaking news, so I don't know if it was legit, and I'll be honest, the person saying it, I just didn't trust them. They looked like they were the biggest tool I'd ever seen on TV in at least a month. Claimed that some other guy went to the car to get his guns to stop the guy who was shooting. I don't know if that's true or not. I assume it's not, but I haven't paid much attention. I saw the headline. I feel terrible for the people it happened to. Apparently it was a guy who worked there. And listen, if people get upset, that's something that might happen. Don't get your coworkers that upset. Dan says, when I was at school, I was strangled by another kid 3 times. I wish they would have done something to prosecute him. Well, that sounds like physical assault. That's unfortunate that your school, the way it's set up. Here, they probably would have prosecuted him. Not 20 years ago or 30 years ago, but today. Carlo Albanese says, Bird of Prey, whatever happened to freedom of speech? Freedom of speech is from the government. Ungrima says, what season is the cutoff for The Simpsons before it gets lame? Somewhere around, for me, well, okay. There's so many, if you ask people that say by season 8 or 9, it was past its prime. Others say like season 15. I'd venture to go as high as season 25. I'd be fine with going to season 25. After that, I mean, you might get 26 or 27 in there, but I'd say 25 is a safe cutoff. At the time, when they got to the 25th season, I was like, oh, let's just keep going. We can ride this wave forever. But no, clearly they couldn't. That is just when woke politics started coming into Hollywood or whatever you want to call it. And The Simpsons went from fighting the people who were woke to bowing to them. And that once that happened, it was over. And literally in the course of a single season, it went from still funny, still relevant, still not as rebellious as it was, but still a rebel, to a sellout. And once they sold out, it was immediately all over. Dan says 1 to 20 afterwards stop. Yeah, 20 is fine. 20, 25 tops. Probably you watch 1 through 15. That's probably going to give you the best episodes. Dan says, I do still watch New Simpsons, not much else to watch. I still watch New Family Guy, but not Simpsons anymore. Carlos is the only way Ozzy O'Prey can be more Aussie is if he was Australian. Dan 23 says the Simpsons Lisa is smart in her classroom, but instead some episodes where Lisa has moved to next grade, she's not the smartest. No, she's not. She's only the smartest in her class and her family. John DeMarco says, quick, who can read lips? Hungary said, Bird broke. No, I didn't break. I had to mute the mic. Carlos says, what comes in mind when you think of Britain? The Royal Air Force, the Battle of Britain, Spitfires, the River Thames, however you pronounce it. The IEEE building in London. Stonehenge. Yeah, no, John, I had to shut off the sound. Carlos says it's great, the clues in the name, Great Britain. No, there was nothing about Great Britain. We weren't talking about Great Britain. Space Kissing Her says bird got paused by Turtistan. John Aragi says Dr. Alex is canceling my appointment Sunday. No. Algarima says doctor home visit on Sunday sounds expensive. No, it's just that they do their home visits on Sunday. Sunday. Dan23 says I couldn't get a doctor's appointment on a Sunday unless I really am ill. This particular doctor is when they do it. They only do it on Sundays. Captain Track says bird of prey, Dr. Spam. No. Spam. Random Menaces is sassy snoring. Connie is snoring like an old fat guy. I don't know, but she's not now. Sassy's up. Dan says some social anxiety issues. I can get a doctor to come for a visit, just not Sunday. Yeah, you can close the window, I'll pray. John DeMarcos is not a big Monty Python fan. Oh my God, yeah. The Sven, the Naked Nordic Ninja, says blasphemy. I'm sorry, guys. The Random Menace is not knowing John Cheese. Blasphemy. Sven says it's the knights who say ni. Mike Richards is gasping. 50 people have unsubscribed from the channel already. John DeMarco says that's not the Messiah. That's Brian. All hail Brian, yes. Sven says that 'tis but a scratch. Springtime says bird of prey. Can I get a Macba? Make American kittens big again. Macba. Darius says hail to Sven. And Sven says hail to Darius. Carlo Albanese says time for work. Have a great day and night, everyone. Qapla, Carlo. Have a great time at work. BBB says bye-bye, Uncle Joey. It's nap time. Good night, Charlie, baby. Hope you have a good night. A good rest. I hope this isn't your night. Angrima says, do you think FedEx will offer a decent severance package to the shooter? Oh my God. Dan23 says, yeah, in Family Guy, Peter has met God after the episode. They did another one where Peter met God in an elevator for the first time, which was incorrect. Saul Leibowitz, Agent of the Stars, says, Qapla, bird of prey, I came in late. What type of festivities occur in Caroga for Gina Carano's birthday? Apparently, I rant about Hank Azaria. Star Trek Nitpicker says, have you seen the new Law and Order show? The mafia boss is named Sinatra. No, I have not. We're going to go to commercial, be back, and then we'll get to some Dear Bops.
Hello, I'm Charlie McKee for Electrolux. And this is an America that used to be. A time when companies brought vacuum cleaners to your home, because that's the best place to judge a vacuum. Today, few companies do that. But Electrolux still does, because your home is still the best place to see why Electrolux is better. So open your door to Electrolux. Electrolux, your home is the best place to see why we're better.
There really is a Kentucky Fried Chicken school.
Yep, today we're making the Colonel's original recipe.
What have you learned?
Fresh chicken makes the best chicken.
And that we use 11 herbs and spices.
Oh, but that's the Colonel's secret. And special pressure cooking.
So it's always tender and juicy.
Looks like you've learned to make great chicken.
Only way to serve our customers right.
It's so nice to live. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
When that sun breaks out, lift up your head and shout, it's gonna be a great day.
Kellogg's waits for you, that spirit comes shining through, promising you a great day.
How could you think of starting this bright new morning without your K-double-L? Oh, it's double good with Kellogg's, you'll have a great day.
Kellogg's has been making great days for more people for more years with more cereals than anyone. Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies, Frosted Flakes, Product 19. Trust your mornings to Kellogg's.
Very best part of starting your bright new morning is Kellogg's way. It's not far away. Kellogg's will help you say there's gonna be a great, we're gonna see a place. It's gonna be a great day.
If we lived in a world where all women were the same, they'd need only one shampoo. Clairol introduces 7 shampoos for the real world, where all women are different. Clairol Essence shampoos, each with its own natural botanical. Aloe Essence for extra body. Chamomile Essence for beautiful highlights. Ginseng Essence for conditioning. 7 Clairol Essence shampoos that make your difference beautiful. Clairol Essence shampoos.
One of the nice things about McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, those hot, tasty pieces of boneless chicken, is that they're packaged in sizes for every appetite. Let me illustrate. Enter the 6-pack. A logical lunch. McNuggets 9, a delight for dinner. And a pack of 20, hey, perfect for picnics and parties. Of course, these are mere suggestions. Your appetite will be the true guide.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
What's in this little blue egg that keeps Barbara Eden looking slim and trim?
Oh, there's only one answer to that. It's Legs Control Top Pantyhose. See, Legs slims and trims but doesn't body. So you get comfort and control.
Stretching, bending, standing, sitting. There's one pantyhose that's always spinning. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Nothing beats a great pair of legs. Sorry about the Gap commercial. I tried to cut in before. Thank you guys. Sorry about that delay. Figured I'd take my pill too. So no, I've not seen the new Law and Order show, and I'm honestly, I don't plan to. Law and Order is not one of my things. John Araki says, Ivan at Neo. Join the Navy. Yes, that was another great Simpsons episode. Dan23 says the last time I was at school was in 2005. I still have dreams that I'm in college and I forgot that that it's the last day of classes and there's a class I forgot to attend all semester. And I feel like I'm going to fail it. Ungaremus is Dr. Kill a Patient. Professor Brainy Specs has become a member. I guess he's renewed his membership. Yes, Professor Brainy Specs is now a Carogan citizen for the 2nd month in a row. Qapla, Professor Brainy Specs. Thank you for renewing your membership. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you if you're here, or if you're not here, either way. Resolute Germ, who returned to becoming a Subscribe Star member. Thank you, Resolute Germ, for returning on Subscribe Star. Had already updated the credits with that. So, Dan23 says, when I was younger, I played the virtual Springfield video game on PC. One of the newest Simpsons, it turned out, is the sea captain to move to Springfield and find treasure in the sea, and has been doing it the entire time. The sea captain, I miss him too. And Dan also watches new Family Guy. Space Kissing Her says, chicken nuggets. I'll have my fish in fish form. Jedi Bill, Qapla Jedi Bill says, hello, Bird of Prey. Hail, Caroga. Hail to you, Jedi Bill. And Jedi Bill says, hello to Carlo Albanese. Hail, Caroga. John DeMarco welcomes Professor, as does Jedi Bill. I don't know if Professor Brainy Specs is actually here, or if there's just an auto renewal. But Professor Brainy Specs, if you're here, Qapla again, and thank you, my friend, for continuing your subscription. So with that, let's head on over to Dear Bop. Of course, I realize now I have to open the browser, which I forgot to do before I started. So now I'll have to do it here. Opera window, properties. It's so hard. It's so hard to remember which window to use. I mean, it says Dear Bop, Anyway. It would appear we've got 11 Dear Bops as of now. So we'll get started. Dear Bop, there was a time when the world was enormous, spanning the vast, almost infinite boundaries of your neighborhood, the place where you grew up, where you didn't think twice about playing on someone else's lawn. The street was your territory that occasionally got invaded by a passing car. It was where you didn't get called home until after it was dark, and all the people and all the houses that surrounded you were familiar as the things in your own room. Okay, I don't know what that's from, but I'll tell you, even as my neighborhood as a kid, you don't play on someone else's lawn. Okay, that's why you have your own lawn. We would not have tolerated that crap in Brooklyn in the 1980s. You play on your own damn lawn. Hell, even in the snow in winter, there used to be arguments over whose snow was whose. That's why if you were lucky and you had the little chain link fence, you didn't have to argue over what was your snow and what was public snow, because the fence was there. So that said, my neighbor used to bitch. I used to like to play with the hose, and I used to like to make a bunch of mud and play with my toys in the mud. And my neighbor would always say, does your mom know you're playing with the hose? And every time I tell him, yeah, she knows. And he'd not believe me, and he'd go to the door and he'd bitch. I assumed that's what he was doing. I didn't hear him because I was playing with my toys. But he'd get mad that I was water was going to come over to his side of the property, and I don't know, accidentally water his grass, and that it was putting dirt on the sidewalk because people had to walk through mud if they were walking down the sidewalk like he had to. Well, he didn't have to walk down the sidewalk. You could have stayed home and minded your own goddamn business, David. But those were better times. So many toys. Oh my God, I feel like an idiot. So many toys I buried. I buried them all. Thousands of dollars worth, I'm sure, had I kept them in good condition. It's sad. It's depressing. Sven says, stop eating my yellow snow. No, don't worry. There was no yellow snow. And Bradley says, all little boys like to play with the hose. That's not the hose I was talking about. Dear Bob, please take a moment and read the attached article on Deadline titled, Hank Azaria apologizes for voicing Apu on The Simpsons. Calls for more authentic representation animation. No! This was, when did this come in? 4/13. This came in 3 days ago. 3 days ago this came in. I didn't even see that. I didn't know this was here. Is this the art? No, okay. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the article that somebody sent me in Dear Bop. And this is the article I found after Latino Slant's stream, and I read it, and it just pissed me off to no end, angered me, turned my heart to fire. And this is the Deadline version of it. Motherfucker. I can't do it. I've already given my, if you didn't see it, go back to this very start of this stream. 2 minutes in, I started my Simpsons Hank Azaria rant. You can go back to it. I can't believe that. You see, even if I didn't go into it, it was going to happen today, one way or the other. So I appreciate it. Thank you, I guess. My thoughts are Hank Azaria is a sellout, And he's dead to me like the Simpsons are dead to me. Dead. D-E-D, dead. Dear Bob. This isn't the Dear Bob screen. There is the Dear Bob screen. Dear Bob, I cheated on a game and I feel guilty. I let my sister play it for me and she did so much better than me. I cannot play this game again or everyone will know that it wasn't me playing. What shall I do? Come clean. Only play the game when she is around or never play the game again. You should come clean. You should definitely come clean. I honestly don't think anybody would care. In fact, they'd probably be more interested. Geez, what I do. They'd probably be more interested to see that your sister is so good in this game. Whatever game it is that you're talking about. I never had that problem. Sizzle Prey was better than me at a couple of games. But that was mostly because they were Nintendo games. And she had the Nintendo in her room. And like Dr. Mario. So I only got to play it on the rare chance I was in there. And she could play it anytime. Now, if she wanted to play a Sega game that I had in my room, I'm sure I kicked butt every time. Also, I mean, I was 2 years older, so there's that. But, yeah. I gotta tell you, I felt so bad. There was this one, it was 8-bit Sega Master System game called Black Belt. And it was, I don't know, I guess it was a lot like Streets of Rage, but an 8-bit version. And you were this karate guy, and you're just a side scroller. You punched and kick. You either had punch or kick. And you had to fight these, a bunch of random bad guys. At the end of every level was a boss. And the boss fight was almost like an 8-bit Street Fighter. I mean, both characters got bigger. You'd jump and you'd punch and you'd jump around. You'd block. It was literally like Street Fighter, but that was just the boss level. So I could play this game, and I had this game for years. 2, 3, 4 years, I don't know. A ridiculously long time. Okay? I could get through the first level, no problem. But once I got to that boss, I never once beat the boss. I never once beat the first level boss. Every fucking time I made it to the boss, I was killed. Every freaking time. I used to play with my friend Michael. He'd come over. He'd play. He'd get through the boss, no problem. Go on to second level. I couldn't get past that first level boss. One day, I did it. I beat the first level boss. I was so happy. So happy. And I looked at my controller. And my controller wasn't plugged in. It was my friend Michael. He had been playing the whole time. So upset. So upset. Still never beat the boss. Years later, I would download the game via emulation. Thank you, Rock Solid, for teaching me everything I know about emulation. Figuring that this was obviously just some, cruel injustice that as a child I couldn't overcome, but surely as a grown adult, I would, beat this, at least the first level of the game without issue. And just like before, I got to the boss very easily. And just like before, I couldn't get past the goddamn first level boss. Every freaking time. Dead. Gave up. To this day, I have yet to pass the boss on my own in the 8-bit Sega title Black Belt. I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with me and that game. We just don't jive. Commodore Ty says, check out my channel. Got lots of new content coming up, and is only two away from 200 subscribers. Please, guys, check out Commodore Ty. Please subscribe if you can. Let's get Commodore Ty to 200 subscribers for his birthday, which is coming up very quickly. John DeMarco says, those were the good old days. Except for you, David, that son of a bitch. John Araki says he's dead to me like Michael the Rat. Dead. Yes, that's funny. John DeMarco says, poor little bird. Oh. It happens. Dear Bop, I need advice. I feel frustrated and stuck with my job in the city I live in. It's a stable and decent job, but I'm just not happy anymore. On top of that, I'm heartbroken with someone here too. I've been searching for jobs elsewhere with no luck so far, except less paying jobs, and I would feel like I was going backwards. I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like just getting in my car and driving far away. I just entered my 40s, and I feel like it's now or never. Never felt so depressed and helpless. I'm single with no family. Please help. A true fan. Honestly, if you're single with no family, you're looking for a change, now might be the time. Now might be the time. If you've got some money you can have in the bank, or some money to hold you over, some money to get you an apartment someplace new, and maybe get you through a couple of months till you find a job, I'd say go for it. Go for it. If you're truly not happy, this is the time of your life. You're very rare that you're going to be at the point of your life where you have no family to worry about. No, it's just going to be you. The worst case that happens is like, yeah, you've got to take a shitty job and live in a shitty place until you find something more worth your while. But this is an opportunity. A lot of people who don't like their jobs can't just quit up and leave because they have families, because there's something holding them to wherever city or town they're currently living in. If you honestly have nothing holding you back for where you are, take off for somewhere better. I don't know if you're, up north and you want to move down south. If you're out west, you want to come back east. If you're east and want to go west, go where you want to go and try to make a life for yourself where you want to. Now, God help you. Please don't come to New York City. Don't do that to yourself. If you're wanting to go out to New York or San Francisco or LA, then maybe you need some professional help. But if you just want to go somewhere different, you want to go to Texas, you want to go to Florida, you want to go to, I don't know, Utah or New Mexico or Nevada, fine. Do it. Do it. Don't go to Chicago. Don't come to New York. Don't go to the DC area. These are not places you want to go. But yeah, now's the time. And I hope it works out for you. Qapla, Professor Brainy Specs, good to see you. And thank you, Professor. I don't know if you were here, but we got your renewal for the second month as a Carogan citizen. It came up. Greatly appreciated. Wesley Crushers is Bird of Prey. I'm late. Qapla, Wes. Well, we're, I don't know, five Dear Bops in. So you can go back a little bit if you want to see the rest of the Dear Bops. And Captain Track put a link to his channel. Check out Captain Track. He needs only 18 more subs until he's promised to have edited content. At least a month away. Wesley Crusher says everyone move to Kurdistan. Move from Kurdistan to Caroga. Absolutely. Get out of Kurdistan. If you're in Kurdistan, even San Francisco is a step up from Kurdistan, and that's saying a lot. Wesley says don't move to Los Angeles. Trust me. Okay, well maybe not Los Angeles. Wesley would know. Dear Bob, earlier today, a certain Twitch streamer of highly advanced age made some scrupulous comments against the glorious Starship Defiant. He went so far as to claim the Nova class was better. How do you respond to this shocked and appalled Defiant fan? Well, I think I know of this Twitch streamer of advanced age of which you speak. In fact, he's advancing in age a whole nother year in just 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. And the reality is that this Twitch streamer has, age has caught up with his mind. He doesn't remember the things that, he doesn't remember basic facts. He doesn't even remember, what Star Trek really is about. He's been quoted even before the advanced onset of his symptoms. He was quoted as saying that he hated Star Trek First Contact. Not only wrong, Star Trek First Contact isn't the best movie by far, but to say you hated it, that's really a stretch. I'd say his tastes are highly questionable at best, and just poor at worst. Now, yes, he likes the original series, and that's good. But he's, broken clock is right twice a day, and that's probably what's going on with him liking the original series. I do believe he said how much he likes Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard, and he loves J.J. Abrams. He talked about how much he loves J.J. Abrams, and he said that Captain Marvel was the greatest Captain Marvel movie he's ever seen. So he has some questionable tastes. I would suggest at this point, he's so old, I don't think it's worth worrying about. Just, tap him on the back, give him that thumbs up and say, yeah, sure, champ. Do whatever you say. And just let him be, and time will take care of it all. Wesley says, is that Twitch streamer Joe Biden? No. He's more closer to us in age than Joe Biden, but still advanced. John DeMarco says he must hate First Contact because Defiant is in that movie. That's probably why he hates that movie. I hate that movie because of Defiant. Okay. Dear Bob, strange memories on this nervous night in Las Vegas. 5 years later, 6, it seems like a lifetime, or at least a main era, that kind of peak that never comes again. San Francisco in the middle of the 60s was a very special time and a place to be a part of. Maybe it meant something, maybe not. In the long run, but no explanation, no mix of words or music or memories can touch that sense of knowing you were there and alive in that corner of time and the world, whatever it meant. Why is it a nervous night in Las Vegas? 5 years later, 6? Oh, was this the shooting? Did the shooting in Las Vegas happen recently? Is the shooting Las Vegas shooting? 2017. No, it was October. We're nowhere near that. I don't understand. Nervous night in Vegas, 5 or 6 years seems like a lifetime. At least a main era, the kind of peak that never comes again. I mean, you're saying 5 or 6 years ago was the peak of Vegas? I don't think so, but maybe. I mean, I wasn't there, but I would have guessed it peaked before. I would say Vegas peaked right before 2008. They were in such a massive building boom. Afterwards, they recovered to a point, but I don't think they ever reached their previous high. As for San Francisco in the 60s, I have no relation, nothing to say about that. I wasn't alive in the 60s, and even if I had been, I can't imagine I'd have been in San Francisco. Star Trek Nitpicker says, Bird of Prey, strange memories. That's a quote from the book of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. By Hunter S. Thompson. P-Cat says, Hola, Bird. Hola, P-Cat. Qapla. Thank you, Nitpickers. I would never have picked up on that. Yeah. Professor Brainy Specs is growling. What's the matter? Why you Caroga, Texas? Wow. I don't know what's going on there. Darth Maul says Anti-Tracker has abandoned us for Twitter. Tots. Yeah. Wesley says, is that Twitch? No, it's not Joe Biden. John DeMarco says he much hate for his conduct is defiant. Professor Brainy Specs growling. Jedi Bill says hello to Wesley and hail Caroga. PCAT asks Professor Brainy Specs, how did you make out with the second shot on Monday? And Captain Trax puts in Anti-Tracker's objective ranking of Star Trek First Contact. Is that video still up, Captain Track? I thought he took it down. It's down. Yeah, that he took it down, Cap. Wait. Actually, maybe he didn't. I forgot. I have to, for whatever reason, when I'm in YouTube Studio, I've got to put it to W. Okay, no, it's still up. It is still up. My bad. He has taken down a number of videos. Oh, he set them to private. So yeah, okay. So I read a quote from a movie, and not an option, not a question. And I guess this is another quote because I can tell they copied, and we've got a lot of bad characters. Dear Bob, I'm saying it because it's true. Inside of us, we both know you belong with Victor. You're part of his work, the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not on it with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life. We'll always have Paris. We didn't have. We lost it until you came to Casablanca. We got it back last night, and you never will. But I've got a job to do too. Where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be any part of. Ilsa, I'm no good at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problems of the little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world. Someday you'll understand that. Now, here's looking at you, kid. I always thought Here's Looking at You, Kid wasn't actually in the movie. Captain Trax is my version. Oh, that's Captain Trax version of Anti-Tracker. Got it. And Professor Brainy Specs says, P-Cat, I now have 3 tongues. Well, that's okay. Extra couple of tongues never hurt anyone. Dear Bob, your partner, Larry Flint here. I just wanted to let you know that the Sisopre photo shoot went very well. We captured some very exciting photos. We will be publishing them in our very fine publication this coming June. We are telling you first, we've decided to make Sisopre the Hustler Honey of the Month, and she will grace the centerfold of the June issue. We also retooled the title of the photo spread. It will be called Sisopre and Her Titanic Orbs. We are sending you an early draft. No, I don't need an early draft. Then don't send it UPS. Please let us know what you think about the photos, and we also want to let you know that the $1 million check is in the mail. By the way, we are thinking of using Sisopre again in another future issue, and we'll pay you a cool $5 million if you can help us make this happen. We would like Sisopre to be our scratch and sniff model for our Christmas 2021 issue. I will be back to you in the next couple of days to see if you can obtain Sisopre's cooperation in this next photo shoot. Thanks, my brother, Larry. Well, you guys should have asked her if you had her there for the photo shoot. You should have asked her. I'm not. Just send my check. Dear Bob, just had the Johnson & Johnson vaccination shot, and now I have a nasty rash in my groin area. Should I worry about these weeping rad eruptions from the skin? I can't tell if this too is from the vaccination or just a bad outbreak of my herpes simplex number 2. At any rate, any advice would be greatly appreciated. I can come over for a close-up view if you think that might be help in the diagnosis. Thank you, RXD. Not RXP. That would be Rock Solid Productions. A cheap knockoff RXD, who I have no idea who this is. No, I don't need you to come over for a diagnosis. Yes, it's your herpes. And no, I don't think you have anything to worry about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine causing a herpes outbreak. Just put some honey on it. Natural honey. Locally grown natural honey. Still with the bees in it, if possible. That is a natural home remedy to herpes outbreak. At least that's what I've heard. None of this should be taken as medical advice. But yeah, it'll help. Darth Maul's Bird of Prey offers his love advice. 3 tongues are better than 1. That's just one way. Dear Bob, IP Nightly here. I work for Netflix, and I wanted to see if you may be interested in the early preview of Army of the Dead before it gets released in theaters into our network. In exchange for a good review, we will come to your house with an 85-inch Sony 8K TV to watch this absolutely fantastic film. Additionally, we will come over with little Dave. That's what we call Dave Bluista, to entertain you before and after the film. So would you be interested? Just let me know, IP. You know, honestly, I would not be interested. I don't have any place to put an 85-inch television. And I have no idea who this Dave Bluista is. So, by all means, thanks, but no thanks. Maybe there's someone else who would be more interested in such a movie. I'm not. Dear Bob, hi, Joe Baby. My name is Tammy, and I am from 1,000 Pound Sisters, one of the best shows on TV. I've never heard of it. I know you've been watching. I have not. You little stinker. I'm sure you have a little chubby when I'm on the screen. Anyway, since I can't seem to lose weight, and I'm now smashing the scale at 665 pounds, my family has moved me into an assisted care facility. I was just wondering if you might have a space at your place so we can hang out together and take good care of each other. I like that dumb science fiction stuff too. So I know we'd get along amazingly. Tell you what, I'll lose about 100 pounds to get down to a more pleasing shape. So what do you say? Do you appreciate pleasantly plump gals? And can I move in? See you soon, handsome. Love, Tammy. No, Tammy. We're good here. Thank you. I do wish you good luck on your journey to losing weight. But by you calling it stupid science fiction stuff gives me a pretty good hint you're not a true fan. Dear Bob, have you any old video games or systems that you want to sell? Since you're a pirate and just illegally download ROMs, you clearly have no need for actual hardware or original cartridges. I do have some original Sega Genesis. I think I might have Sega Master System too, somewhere. But I'm not really interested in selling them at this time. Also, I think pirate is an overused word. I'd owned these games at one point in time, and they probably just broke. So I feel like I'm still entitled to them. May or may not be true. Also, I feel like we're helping humanity by keeping these old games alive. So, yeah, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about emulating games that are 25 and 30 years old. Now, yeah, would I feel bad about going to PS3, PS4, PS5 games? Absolutely. Okay, but if a game is 20 plus years old, I really don't care. I don't think anybody cares about what's happening with it. I think it's helping expand the industry, frankly. And I know, well, who am I to say that should be legal? Well, I am, again, Birdo Prey 5, God Emperor of Caroga. So I have no qualms about saying that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Darth Maul says, can't believe people write such a thing about his sister. Yeah, well, it happens. Well, there was a stream. I was on Deej's channel once when Charlie, nephew of Prey, was just like only a few weeks old, and I was holding him, and Sis Prey, I had the camera on because I was showing off the baby, and Sis Prey had just taken a shower and just had a towel wrapped around her, but she accidentally stepped into the view of the camera before I could tell her not to, and that kind of set off the whole tone of Sis Prey stuff. Deej asked if he could show it as a super chat, and she said yes. So she clearly doesn't mind, but I could do without. I could do without some of these super dear bops. But whatever. John DeMarco says piracy, a Carogan duty. Captain Trax says John DeMarco, no, it's an executive order. And John DeMarco says, indeed. And that, I believe, yes, that's the end of Dear Bops for today. And I think that's probably where we're going to call this one for today. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Oh, For All Mankind, the next episode was released today. I have yet to see it, so please don't spoil it. At the end of the last episode, the shit was about to hit the fan. Americans and Russians got into an altercation on the moon. There was people shot and killed. So hopefully this next episode, we're going to see the details of that. I know this doesn't mean anything to you if you haven't seen it, but one of the main characters goes back to the moon and reunites with his ex-wife who's been on the moon. And that seems to be going pretty well. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. Like I said, last week and the week before, it definitely started going a bit woke, but it is nowhere near as woke as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I did see this morning. And honestly, if I wasn't watching the movie as a critic, the show as a critic, I would have stopped. I probably would have stopped watching it after the second or third episode. But if by some reason I had still been watching it, I absolutely would have turned it off about halfway through this episode. It was, there's a scene, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a scene where they turn the racism up to 11. And you're going to say, but it's not racist. No, it's not. Maybe it's not racist per se, but they're general statements of one person saying against another race. The people who did those things are no longer around. And basically, the only thing you come walking away from this is that, wow, I dislike this race so much more than I did before. And it's like, well, why? Why would they put this in? It's like they just want to inflame tensions at the exact time in this country when we should be trying to repair the racial divide, and they want to go full steam ahead and enlarge the divide. Like literally, like they stabbed us. They stabbed us in the chest in the second episode. And this episode, they are turning the knife because somehow we managed to survive 2 or 3 episodes. Now they're making sure we feel it and we're punished for still watching. It is a epically bad, epically insensitive show to the times we live in. And I can't believe people are still watching it. Now that said, I feel like a hypocrite because I say, well, I'm watching it, but I'm watching it so I can critique it. I absolutely would not be watching it for entertainment anymore. Just my opinion, obviously. I'll do a wrap up once they get the final episode, which is next week. I'll do a season wrap up or whatever, a series wrap up. But yeah, this was some pretty sick stuff. And this is another one where they kind of cut it off. I would have wanted to see 5 more minutes. If they were going to cut it, they should have given us 5 more minutes. And there is, just a heads up for those who do watch, there is a mid-credit scene. The first mid-credit scene they have in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So be prepared to watch the mid-credit scene before you turn it off. Okay, guys. With that, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you so much. Let me look at some chats. Is anybody? Okay. Wesley Crusher says, bye, guys. John DeMarco says, wow, Bird, I didn't get the impression of from that show at all. Really? You didn't get the impression? We could debate it. We can debate it in a week or so. Professor says, PCAT, I can't think of use for a couple extra tongues. I'm sure the right person could give you some uses. Professor, but we're gonna keep this polite. Live long and prosper, you all. Hashtag me poo, says Bradley. And Mike Richards says farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Farewell, Mike Richards. Oh, and other news. The next time I play a game, we do a game, I have figured out how to get the game audio to play through StreamYard without using Voice Meter or Voice Meter Banana or Voice Meter Potato or any fucking type of voice meter whatsoever. So I am so happy. So yeah, next time I do Call of Duty or Space Engineers, you will have game audio. I checked it, it tested it, it worked, all set. So with that, Qapla all, good night. Thank you, Captain Track. He says, have a great night. See you in Doomcock stream. Indeed. I generally head there sometime after Doomcock starts streaming, usually around 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Qapla. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care. And yes, tonight at about 10 or 10:15 p.m. Eastern, Commodore Ty is doing a Sons of Anarchy watch party. Be sure to check that out. I love Sons of Anarchy. Unfortunately, it's a little late for me, but I hope it goes well.